I'm purposely gonna do, fuck you! Get off me! It's 35! So, this is the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Finally gonna do the review on this bad boy, or bad girl, I don't know. He hasn't named it yet, so it's kind of up in the air. So, as you guys know, I've been riding this for about a week now. I've pretty much ridden in everything that I can, any kind of situation, to better familiarize myself with the bike, how it rides, where it, excels and doesn't, based on rider comfort and all that. So without further ado, I'm going to start with, obviously, with rider comfort. This being the first leader bike I've ever been on, it was actually much more comfortable than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't mind the seat at all. I know a lot of people complain about any kind of a super sport seat. They're really, really stiff, and they're done that way for a reason, because you're supposed to need to feel the track, because most super sport bikes are relatively designed for the track, or minimal upgrades and whatnot, and they can be on the track. So surprising enough, the seat's been really comfortable. I actually haven't had any fatigue in my hips or my thighs or anything. So that part of the riding position is really comfortable. I could see myself riding one of these like Flashwing did for his Month of Insanity, but I definitely feel like I would have to stop every 2 hours or so and just kind of get off the bike and readjust and whatnot. The biggest thing that I felt seat-wise was, general riding, fatigue of, you can feel like the seams inside your jeans or whatever, or if your boxers are all bunched up or something. That was my only complaint. This fucking strap, I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking kill myself over it. I got a fucking strap on my chest that goes to fucking the chest strap of my bag, and the access fucking shit just flaps around and fucking hits me in the nipples. It fucking pisses me off. I'm just gonna fucking undo it. I don't even care. Get the fuck out of here. So that's seat comfort. Leg comfort was actually pretty awesome. I'm 6 foot, and this obviously being a more aggressive style than what Ruth was, I wasn't sure how my legs were gonna do. There's enough seat, or the seat is slim enough but wide enough for your whole rear, your tailbone and everything to fit, your hips to fit on the seat. I sat in R6. One of our guys from Let's Ride Atlanta, I sat on his bike whenever we did the photo shoot, and I could noticeably tell the difference between the R6 and the R1. The R6 has a lot more room on the seat, and you really feel it on the inside of your thighs. You can feel kind of a pressure point. And I don't know if, that goes away after you're sitting on it for a minute or two, but for the R1, you don't feel that. You don't really feel the seat in between your thighs. It's mostly just the frame of the tank. The biggest thing, leg position-wise, in comfort, is just the foot pegs. The foot pegs are obviously, designed to be slim. They ride up the bike a little bit, way more than what the 500s do. And I noticed that every once in a while I'd have to readjust my feet to get the peg to keep my feet from cramping, because they're so slim. If you're just wearing normal tennis shoes or riding boots where you can actually feel the pegs, you don't have a crazy hard sole, you can definitely feel it. Upper body comfort was pretty normal for a sport bike. I never had any back issues, surprisingly enough, being hunched over. The biggest complaint that I had on full, like all body position topics, was definitely my wrists, mainly my throttle hand. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just not being used to riding the bike yet, you know, not being used to this whole position the entire time. But one thing I did notice is that while we were riding up on Blood Mountain and Wolfpin Gap and all that up there, I didn't feel the same stress in my wrist as much. And I think what it is moving around on the bike, you know, swinging it back and forth all the time while we're up there helps to alleviate that. Which is a good thing, because most people when they ride this bike, generally, hopefully, they'll take it through some corners. This thing fucking hugs the road. Straight up riding like what Flashwing did this last month, I couldn't imagine what his wrist felt like afterwards. Flashwing, if you're watching this, drop a comment below, let me know, man. This throttle killed my wrist of straight up riding for after about an hour. Now, Mark does have aftermarket grips on here, so that may be another side of it. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be more comfortable or less comfortable than stock grips. I can imagine they would only be more comfortable. I kind of like the little metal groove they've got right here on the inside. I don't really know what grips they are, but if you guys can see them in the video, definitely drop a comment down below and let me know. Alright, so that's enough about rider comfort. Now we'll talk about rider, I guess, handling, like, you know, not just steering it with your hands, but with your whole body. The bike reacts very, very, very well, very fluidly as well. When we took it up, you know, I took it up to the mountain yesterday just because I needed that to be as a part of the review. And it didn't matter what I threw at it once I was used to how the handling is very, very stiff up front when you're at speed, which is good. You want that in a sport bike, you know, so you prevent tank slappers and all that shit. So once I was used to how the front end felt, I could just drag it down, and it was so much fucking fun. You guys will see, I'll drop a little bit of the up north footage where we actually did some twisties and stuff, and you guys can see how the bike handles just from my perspective and how I rode it. The only thing I don't like about handling with this bike is when you're just kind of pushing it around. Full lock left and right in the forks is actually way shorter than I expected it to be. You know, because I'm so used to Ruth and Tiffany. And I mean, it's more than likely due to the fact that the bars are so, you know, sit so close to the bike. So that, I mean, I was trying to turn it more, and I kept almost, you know, feeling like I was going to drop the bike because I wasn't used to it stopping so quick. Sit up riding, like slow speeds like this, it's great. You don't feel any of the weight of the bike. You're not. It's not, you know, trying to yank you down in either direction. It's super easy to, not really frame stand, but, you know, do the slow riding stuff up to a stoplight. You know, like no foot down. Taking off from stop signs and everything at low speeds is real smooth, really nice. The actual bike itself, throttle wise, I had a couple issues to begin with, getting used to getting it up into the right RPM before I took off. You can't really undercut the throttle on this bike because it'll shake the whole thing. I never really had that big of an issue on Ruth just because it's a 500cc bike, so, you know, it sits, you know, it's supposed to idle a little bit lower. Of course, I mean, this thing's a, you know, 4-cylinder, but it really, really, really wants to go all the time. Okay, so let's move on to let's move on to passenger riding. You guys saw the video, hopefully, the other day of Melissa riding on the back with me. That was the first time of her being on a full fairing bike that actually had a real seat. She rode on the back of Ruth once right after I chopped it, and that was about it. The biggest thing I can say riding with a passenger is it's, unless your passenger is, you know, consistently trying to maintain seat position, the biggest thing I felt was Melissa was sliding off of the seat down towards me. I'm a smaller dude, so I don't necessarily have, I'm not really smaller, but I don't necessarily have the body weight to kind of keep firmly planted in the seat. So I tend to move up towards the tank, and it's a little bit more comfortable for me to be up near the tank because I can grip the bike a lot easier with my knees. But riding with a passenger, the gap behind me, in between my seat and hers, the rear seat, it was noticeable. I could feel her start to slide off, and I could feel more pressure on my lower back and whatnot whenever she was getting closer to me. I think as per riding with a passenger, that's my only qualm. So city riding, it kind of sucks. What I really do like, and I'm not sure if it's standard on all bikes, I know Ruth doesn't have one, but the temperature gauge is actually really, really awesome to see. You can tell, when the bike's getting hot, whenever it's cooling off, and so long as you're moving, the bike stays really cool. I'm really not sure if the bike's got any fans that run while it's like actually driving. I know I hear them turn on every once in a while when it stops, but I'm not sure if they turn on while it's actually driving. So the max temperature that I saw sitting in Road Atlanta right the day when I got it, it hit around 227, 230, and to me that seemed really hot. But I'm not really sure what the operating range is. I've seen it go as low as 160 at speed, on the highway. So the temperature range is really good. Speaking of heat, this is the first bike I've ever ridden on that's had an undertail exhaust, and let me tell you, it's a completely different experience. The one thing that really sticks out in my mind is, if you're going to ride this bike in the summer, or if you live in, places where it's a really dry, arid heat, you're going to fucking hate this bike. The heat just pours out in between your calf muscles down below, and then in the sun, like if you're sitting up on 85 or something like that, sitting in traffic, the sun will beat down on the back of your legs, and then the heat from the undertail exhaust will heat the whole underside of your body, like, literally from like, your waist down, and it feels like you're standing in a hot tub. Driving speed, it's pretty minimal. It just kind of feels like you're sitting on a heat pad. The wind that's coming around the front of the bike kind of helps cool off your legs a little bit, but I could not imagine riding this bike in like Arizona. Like, that would be Arizona or Texas, man. If any of you guys are from there and you're on an R1, holy shit balls. More respect for you guys, because that shit feels like it would suck. The stock exhaust guards and whatnot that are actually on the top of the exhaust and around the pipes that lead up, they do pretty well at keeping you from burning yourself on the exhaust. Melissa said that when she rode on the back, she got a little warm, but it never burned her, which is good. And I have a feeling that if Yamaha did that, they'd have a lot of unhappy people. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance of the bike. We'll go to the cluster. Up front, the cluster's got a basic RPM gauge, like actual dial. Runs from 0 to 15K, and starts to red line at 13.7. The bike's got full traction control. It has a standard mode, an A mode, and B mode. A mode being slick, and B mode being wet. Slick meaning like slick tires. The gear indicator is inside the RPM gauge. It's got its own dedicated section of the LCD screen. It sits right in there. There's also 2 buttons that are right beside the gauge to the left. One is a select, one is a reset. Both of them allow you to, the select lets you cycle through your trip stuff, like your odometer, your trip A, trip B, and it also shows your gas mileage at that moment in time, as well as the average mileage. And then down below all of that, it's got just the standard time. The speedometer readout is obviously digital. It's right there on the LCD screen. Control-wise, that are actually on the bars, it's got your general bright switch, your blinkers are all on the left side, and then your horn. It's standard sport bike setup, but it's also got this traction control switch right here. And if I'm not mistaken, when you let off the throttle, when you let off the throttle, you can actually adjust the traction control on the fly. So I didn't find that out until I was actually on the mountain. And from what I understand, I feel like the traction control system is more or less designed kind of like a slipper clutch. I felt a couple times when I was on the mountain, if I ever got on it really hard, I could kind of feel, not really vibrations per se, but it kind of does at the same time. The engine making sure that the wheel doesn't slip. And I also think that when it's on traction control, I don't think it wheelies as easy. Because a lot of people were telling me that third gear you can grab a handful and it'll pull up, and I guess I probably wasn't really trying that hard, but I pushed her to 140, and I wish I had the footage, but I don't. I'm sorry, guys. It turns out the fucking camera filled up while we were sitting at a gas station on the way back on 441, so I did put it up to 140. Holy shit, it was amazing. It was also really fucking scary. I don't fucking do that shit like ever. It's not my character, but I felt that seeing so I had this thing only for like another day or two, I needed to do it. 140 is by far not the top speed. I do believe spec sheets for the 2013 say it's a 187 or 183. I don't know if anyone else has gotten faster than that stock, but that's just what I've seen. Throttle-wise and power-wise, it's everywhere. Like, literally everywhere. The power is just, if you want to go, you go. There's no, that was a quarter of a turn, if that. And on top of the power, the shifting is actually really easy as well. It's got its own dedicated shift light up top, just right below the windscreen. I've never seen it come on because I haven't pushed it up that far, but it'll let you know. I normally kept it around 5 to 8K. I never really got that high afterwards. I know I got up to 9 or 10 whenever I was doing the top speed. Bike's got 6 gears, so it'll really book it when you need to. The tank, the gas tank is 4.5 gallons. I do believe I hit about 140 to 150 miles and the gas light came on. I did notice, however, that when the gas light came on, the trip meter switched. It went from being the total distance that you've gone for, this tank to like a mileage counter that went up. So I don't know what. I went about 10 miles before I needed to fill up once the light turned on, and then when we actually stopped at the gas station and I filled up, I had about half a tank or half a gallon left. I think I filled up for 4 gallons. So you get about a half a gallon on light, which to me is pretty, feels like it's pretty standard. That's about what I do on Ruth. So you can get just about 130, 140 miles before the light comes on, which is pretty sweet. Mark has shorty levers that are on here, these blue levers. They do have the variable adjustments switches on them, which I think is really fucking cool. I loved mine that were on Ruth, so it was, I felt right at home using these. The only thing that I didn't like is that stock on the R1, a lot of people say that the clutch is really hard to get used to, especially going from into first and then first to second. I definitely agree with that, but the thing was that I think it was just that the way I shift is I shift with my hand on the grip and 2 fingers on it, and then pull it to the other 2 fingers. I'd never really full pull my clutch. I always half pull it, so I like to have a short range. When I had to tick it up one to fit my gloves because I felt like my gloves were stopping it before it was engaging properly, and then I finally started getting some really smooth shifting. So the throttle response to the bike is amazing. So once you drop it in gear and you go, I mean, you're gonna fucking go. It is unbelievably powerful. Like I said before, for this being my first 1000cc bike to ride and really put through its paces and have it put me through my paces, it was really fucking fun. What the fuck are you doing? Get off me! Jesus Christ! Fuck! I'm doing the fucking speed limit. What do you want me to do? This guy is fucking on my ass. Oh, any fucking way. There's power everywhere. It's super fucking nice. The clutch response is really good, as well as the shifting. So as soon as you're in gear, oh, it is fucking ready to go. And when you get that really nice smooth shift, it really, really, really goes. I had a little bit of trouble with it when I first had the bike. It had a little too much throttle play. And when I was shifting, I was coming off the throttle way too hard and trying to refine it again. But I tightened up the throttle cable. Throttle cable felt real nice afterwards. See, these are the dumb motherfuckers that fucking get... What the fuck? Holy shit, guys, I'm sorry. You guys get to see an interesting motherfucking review. Any fucking way. Oh, that's really annoying. Alright, so let's go to brights. Headlights are awesome. The running lights look real sweet. When the HID, or not HIDs, when the brights are actually on, it fucking lights shit up, man. It is awesome. I normally rode with the brights on pretty much the whole time, just because I like to be seen. But at night, man, the brights, oh, they're fucking wonderful. It is a whole other animal on front end visibility. The biggest difference that I saw between having a bike, if you guys don't have a bike that's got fixed headlights that are built into the fairings, it is completely different. It feels way different. So when you're steering, your headlights are still going to be pointed forwards. Whereas on a bike like Ruth, how she had the fork mounted headlight, kind of, it turned pretty well with the because it's mounted to the actual forks themselves. So, God, this fucking lady's got me all fucked up. I'm pissed. What else can I say about the bike? Undertail section for kind of miniature storage and stuff. It's underneath the passenger seat. It's pretty small. I was able to actually fit a GoPro chesty, a naked frame, an extra battery, a couple of the extra curve mounts and stuff whenever I took it up to the mountain, because I wasn't sure what kind of camera angles I wanted to do. If you're going to mount a camera to the bike, I strongly suggest you get some sort of rigid mount if you're going to have anything that's going to be tall. You guys will see in the end of this video where I show you guys the mountain footage. I had one right here mounted to the tank, and it wobbled a good bit. So I don't know how most people mount their stuff. If you mount it short, it's obviously not going to vibrate as much. But overall, the whole bike on vibration-wise is pretty minimal. The only time it vibrates pretty bad is like I said, when I think it's under the system trying to maintain traction. If you under rev it, you know, coming from a stop. But while you're riding, man, the vibration is super minimal. It is. Oh man, this bike. This bike drives like a dream. I'm really excited I was able to do this. Mark, thank you so much. This really means a lot. I think I'm gonna have to end up passing on this favor. Let somebody else borrow my bike for a week or so. Yeah, so ride's great, power's everywhere, a little hot, slow turning is a little bad, but other than that, if you guys are looking at a Yamaha R1, or you know what the official name being the YZF-R1, fucking do it. I strongly suggest though that you ride a lower CC bike like a 500 or 600 for a while before you decide to step up to 1,000, because you can definitely feel the difference. So you guys take it easy. I'm gonna head to class. If you guys enjoyed the review, let me know. I'm actually heading up to class and then back to Brian S1K's house, where I'm gonna trade Mark for a fucking Harley Street Glide. So you guys keep eyes to the channel. Another review will be going up soon. I love you guys. Thank you guys for being along for the ride, and I'll catch you guys soon. All right, take it easy.
Under the bright skies, only sunshine. Under the bright skies, when the words are like bullets and they break through your skin, and there's no way to get them all out. When it feels like rust seeping into your soul, stay gold, gold, gold. Stay gold, gold, gold. Stay gold, gold, gold. Under the bright skies, only sunshine. You were always searching for something out there, out of reach, couldn't stop you, couldn't hold you back. You were so real, so real. When the words are like bullets and they break through your skin, and there's no way to get them all out. When it feels seeping into your soul. Stay gold, gold, gold. Stay gold, gold, gold. Stay gold, gold, gold. Under the bright